My name's Kevin, this is Dwayne. Thanks for joining us in this video. Today we have a super exciting announcement to make. 2 years in the making, hundreds of thousands of miles of testing over the years, and it's going to be a really, really exciting video. At least for us it is.
So I think this product is probably the biggest step forward DK has made in any product development that I can think of.
We've certainly spent more time and effort and money developing it.
Right. And we're hoping with all that effort, all that time, all that money, that this product's going to be a game changer.
It's the NexGen shocks that are auto-adjusting. And while we're saying today we're announcing it, we actually did a soft intro almost a year ago with the 14-inch version of this for trikes.
Right. Now, trike suspension is a little more difficult to develop, so that's why we started with that first. And now we've moved on. We have these for Dynas, we have these for Sportsters, and we have these for two-wheel touring models. And they work just as great on those bikes as they do on the Tri-Glide.
When we did the soft intro of these auto-adjusting shocks back in the end of January, beginning of February of this year, 2022, we did no posts on any forums. We did no YouTube. We just put them on the website. We didn't change our suspension reports. And you can look at those suspension reports at a link down in the description below. We didn't do anything. We just put them on there. And we got rave reviews from everybody who bought them. And people have purchased them a lot and installed them on their trikes a lot. And let's look at what comes in the package real quick. So sticker, NexGen shocks, auto-adjusting, IAS inside, and we'll talk about that a little bit. It has the instructions on installation. It has the spacers so that you can get the shock in the right position on the bike, and then the two shocks.
So let's talk a little bit about what the IAS inside means.
Inertia active suspension. And what that is, it's a patented technology that allows for the valving to adjust to the riding conditions.
Right.
So the valving is dynamic. First of all, you don't have to adjust it.
Right. Because it's not difficult to adjust shocks that are adjustable, but it can be cumbersome, especially on a bike like a Tri-Glide where you have to reach around and physically make an adjustment. So that's one of the great things about these. The valving is self-adjusting. When you want them to be soft, they're soft. And when you want an aggressive feel, they valve more tightly to create a more aggressive ride quality. So say you're on an unpaved road or an ungraded road. So there's a lot of little road noise. They eat that up flawlessly, do a great job. But then you come across a bridge joint or a frost heave or a pothole or a speed bump because of that inertia active suspension. Whenever it feels that input, now it valves correctly. You don't have to make adjustments. You know, say you're out riding on the Dragon, a very smooth road, high embanking curves. You want a very tight valving for a more aggressive performance feel. So you get off your bike, you set the shocks up for that tight valving. Now you're on your way back to your campsite. The roads aren't so good. They're rough, they're unpaved, they're gravel. Now you have to either get off your bike, make the adjustment, set the valving correctly to accommodate that rough ride quality. So that's a little cumbersome. So you don't have to do that with these shocks. They are self-adjusting in that manner.
Right. They dynamically adjust to the road conditions, to the weight that's on the bike, to how hard you're putting on the brakes, to how hard you're accelerating, all of that stuff. We have had the 14-inch shocks for the trikes. We're introducing today the 13-inch shocks for the trikes. And here's what we did nice. Our 14-inch shocks for the trikes are 4 inches of travel.
Right.
Our 13-inch shocks for the trike are also 4 inches of travel.
Now, because that's the maximum amount of travel you have. That's the max clearance. That swing arm's only going to move up and down so much, and these shocks provide you the maximum travel.
On the 12-inch bagger, Dyna, and Sportster, they all have 3 inches of travel.
You can go, if those of you that like a low, sleek look on your bike, you can go with the 12-inch shock and not compromise ride quality.
We'll put a link up above to the NexGen shocks on our website. We'll also put it down in the description.
These are a premium shock. You know, the shock body is CNC machined of 6061 aircraft quality aluminum. You know, they have a hard anodized aluminum body. Another thing I really like about these shocks, they have a spherical bearing in the eyelet. No rubber bushing, you know, they're gonna last a lot longer. That bearing means there's a lot less stress on the shocks. And then of course, internally, like we spoke about earlier, they have the 2 separate rebound circuits with the IAS technology.
When talking about the valving, because that's the secret of these shocks, is the valving.
That's the bread and butter.
Okay, the valving, it has the 2-stage dynamically adjusting rebound to keep that tire in contact with the ground. It also has a 3-stage compression damping valving.
Right.
And so the valving on this is just superior to any other shock. Here's Jerry, who's ridden with factory shocks, ridden with the DK Pro Action 14-inch shocks, and then now has been riding with the NexGen shocks.
Now this guy has ridden all over the North American continent, several hundreds of miles. You know, I'll never catch up to the amount of miles this guy's ridden, so he knows what he's talking about. Let's hear what he has to say about these shocks.
So what do you think?
I think it's a big improvement. It makes a big difference, especially on the bumps in the road, what I call the humps, as opposed to the dips. I think the Pro Actions handle pretty well, but going over the humps in the road, they don't seem to handle quite as well. They seem a little more harsh. This seemed to be a lot smoother going over humps in the road.
So overall, it was a smoother ride?
I believe it was, yes.
Okay, was there anything that you noticed that you did or didn't like about it? Did it feel stable in the curves?
It still felt stable, yes. There really weren't that many curves. I was really focused on going on as many bumpy roads as I could. But it seems to be quite an improvement to me.
Here's another report on the NexGen shocks. Just do it. My wife said she was done riding with me due to the jarring, etc. If you're on the fence about the big investment versus results, all I can say is just do it. So this is what we work so hard for. And there's a lot more, and you just go click the review button in the shock page. But these shocks are absolutely amazing. We did not stop working at improving them until they were better than anything else that we'd ever ridden with. And here's the thing. Different people have different sensitivities, and there were a few points during the development that some of the test riders said, well, it's a little bit better than this shock, or it's a little bit better than that shock. And I said, we can't put out something that's just a little bit better because you're feeling like it's a little bit better. But if we say it's a little bit better, then people get it and they can't tell a difference because maybe they're not as sensitive. They're gonna go, why did I get these shocks? They're no better than this shock or no better than that shock. It has to be head and shoulders absolutely distinctly better than any other shock. Or why even do it?
Yeah, because anything's better than stock. Like you're hard pressed to find an aftermarket shock that's not gonna be at least a little bit of an improvement over stock. So we weren't out to make these better than stock. We were out to make these better than the rest.
So I encourage you to read the specs and all the features in the description on the website so you can see where these are distinctly different than the other shocks out there. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a suspension report that's linked down below.
We're very proud of the work we've put into these shocks and how they came out. They're made in the USA, of course. Have a lifetime warranty. If they ever need to be rebuilt or if you ever have any issues, you send them in and we send them back to you as good as new. Now, if you have any questions about fitment or anything you've seen in this video, leave us a comment or shoot me an email to support@dkcustomproducts.com.
Y'all ride safe out there.